Jen and Jamie on a Thursday. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of What's in the Lunchbox? So if you recall, last week we had a nozzle, a sprayer, a spout, all of those things that you usually hook up to a hose so that you don't just have water, so that you don't just have a free-flowing.
Yeah. Now, you might be expecting us to go with the concept of a nozzle is attached to a hose and it sprays the water everywhere, because that's kind of what we've done the past 2 weeks, is this idea of our faith out in the world and in action. Au contraire. We found a literal nozzle in the Bible.
We did. So even though this is a modern day nozzle, you're not going to find this nozzle back in the Bible. But you are going to find a nozzle that is in the laver of the tabernacle.
So we went all the way back to Exodus.
We did.
And you can find these stories in Exodus chapter 30 and chapter 38.
Yes.
If you would like to kind of look at it yourself. But
yes. So the laver was something that was used by priests, and it was a big bronze basin, but it had nozzles or spouts that would continually have the water be running out into the basin, over the basin. And they would need to wash themselves, to cleanse themselves, to purify themselves before going into the tabernacle.
Yeah, so the idea was that this was not just like a standalone bowl that had to be refilled with fresh water all the time, but it was almost like a fountain. Almost one of those types of things where you would see the water continually moving. Maybe they were even able to hook it up to an actual underground water source so that it could keep moving. But the idea then is the water never got stale, the water never got yucky, and the water stayed clean so that they could purify themselves.
Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, when you are done with mowing the lawn or working in the garden, you're filthy. You're a little bit stinky, but you've got grass clippings, you've got mud, you've got dirt all over you. That's not something you want to take into your house, because that's where you live, right? You want your house to be a place of comfort and cleanliness and all of those things. So what do? You go to the hose hooked up to the side of the house, you put the little sprayer on, and you clean yourself off before entering your house. So much like you do that with the nozzle nowadays to enter your house, the priests use the spout or nozzle to purify themselves before doing their work that was required of them in the tabernacle.
Yeah. Now, Exodus chapter 30 says that they did these things so that they would not die. I don't think that you guys are probably hosing off your feet and your hands and whatnot before you go in your house so that you won't die. I mean, maybe you might have strict people that live in your house. I don't know. But same concept applies. This was a rule that God had set for his people, and his priests were going to follow it. Also, a fun fact, Exodus chapter 38, verse 8 tells us that this bronze basin and its stand were made from the mirrors of the women who worked at the tent of meeting. So they kind of used all of it to collaborate, to have this thing for the priest to go into the tent.
Obviously, they respected and listened to God, because those were the rules set before them. So good job. All right, Jamie, it is time for checking on what's next week in the lunchbox. Are we ready?
Here we go.
All right.
What's in the lunchbox?
All right, next time we will talk about a little red wagon.
Aww. I'm pretty sure that maybe Mary pulled Jesus in a little red radio flyer wagon down the streets of Nazareth.
Don't give away our secrets for next week.
All right. Again, we have our work cut out for us, but I have a feeling that maybe wagon or something is mentioned in the Bible. So. All right. We'll see you next time on
What's in the lunchbox?
Jen and Jamie on a Thursday.